Today's workshop is going to be a very important one. It's going to be a voice that is coming from practitioners and operators at the level of open research and open infrastructure initiatives. Later in the day, we'll be also looking at a very important aspect which has to do with the draft model policy, which we're hoping that once you give it its endorsement, we'll present it to the Committee of Vice Chancellors at their meeting on Thursday for them to take to their individual universities for review and domestication.
This is a mixture of librarians from our different universities who are sort of leading the pace with open access and open science activities, and their sense of their presence here is to support whatever initiatives that we develop from grounds up on our campuses.
There is no way we can start talking about open science, open distance learning, e-learning without the right infrastructure. So the good news is we have got friends, WACREN, who are helping us to build the connectivity infrastructure. No internet, no open science, no open teaching. So our first focus is to make sure that our infrastructure is streamlined. In Sierra Leone, we have fiber, and the good news is all universities have the last mile of the fiber. So we are working with WACREN to make sure that we have a dedicated infrastructure. Like in UK, we have JANET, Joint Academic Network for all universities. Giant has theirs. US has internet too for all universities. So we want to make sure that apart from the government fiber on our campuses, we have a dedicated network infrastructure to support our strategic vision. So that's why we are working with WACREN.
You know, there's still a lot of education, training, awareness raising to do with researchers to get them to start adopting those policies. So, you know, kind of holding researchers' hand, having a strategy on campus, often through the library, to be able to train and talk to researchers about what open science practices are is helpful.
We started to discuss about open science from the 2015, and right now, but even right now, so the university itself doesn't have a data policy itself. So, however, in this, the loom, there are so many research data management related to librarians, and based on the history discussed in our cabinet office or under the Ministry of Education and Research. So my research center has a mission to provide a nationwide data platform which can utilize whole entire research data life cycle.
We are reviewing existing policy and guidelines by gathering information on national policy and seeing how they conform with existing policies on our campuses. Interestingly, the closest policy that we're able to see in Nigeria that is closest to research ethics or even research data management is the National Data Protection Act. So we are reviewing that act and seeing what part is relevant to us in the academia and to researches that we conduct on our institutions.
How can we reconcile international research, local research, and Nigerian universities all going haywire about high impact factor journals, assessment of faculty members,
We have a problem that even in the university or any higher institution, for your postgraduate student to even access your network traffic data becomes a problem. Even because the custodian of the data cannot even understand the ethical standard in terms of whether to release the data, what is the sensitivity of data, what is the implication of releasing it. For some institutions, we have the ethical review committee that sets the standard. But I must say, many institutions are still at the infancy in terms of putting in place the real ethical standard. For medical research, probably they have gone a long way because they deal with live data. But for scientific research, we still have a long to do. But coming from computing point of view and the security of the data, probably maybe you can include this as part of your research efforts. That in the 21st century, where data are considered as assets, then it becomes mandatory for us to do identification of those digital assets and do a categorization of those assets based on security risk level.
How much quality research is really going on in Nigeria now? How much? How many laboratories are such that you can really vouch for the data that is coming out there? How many researchers now that are professors, you can go to their labs and the labs are functional? You can attract students from abroad, these labs are working. So the investment generally in research is at its lowest ebb. And we must really put our money where our mouth is. And that's why we have championed the establishment, and I mentioned it in Lagos, of a national research foundation. Not the NRF that we have in TED Fund.
This report, this draft policy, I have reduced it to a one-page executive summary, so that in that one page they know exactly what it maintains. It captures everything that is in the rest of the document. And so when you are producing the type of policy support that he needs at his own level, at your own institutional level, you also need to do the same. That this is the type of training that you need, this is what it's going to cost, and then make sure, I keep telling you, make sure you time him very well when you are presenting the request for money. This body of stakeholders are very critical in the whole process of helping us to transform how we do research, how we engage with third-party actors, and how we help improve the bottom line of the Nigerian university system. And I assure you that at the level of the Secretariat of the Committee of Vice Chancellors, we are going to stand with you all the way to make sure that when next we meet, we are talking about how we have rolled out certain projects and policies, certain innovations that has actually driven the research environment to another level.